Now let's look at an actual calculation. So let's see. Okay, find a vector projection of u onto v, then write u as the sum of two orthogonal vectors, one of which is projection of u onto v. Okay, what are they talking about? All right, so let's look at it graphically. So u is 6.2. V is 5, -5. We want u going in the v direction. So I'm going to do this in a different color. So essentially what we do is we draw a straight line down, perpendicular line, and then we say this part is really the direction of u going in the v direction. All right, so you can see that we are just going to use the formula because if we really want to start with magnitude times direction, then we need to figure out this angle, and it just takes too long. So what we're going to do is just use the formula. All right, so formula says the projection of u going in the v direction is u dot v over, is going in the v direction, so v magnitude to a v squared times v. So be careful with this formula. So you can see that this is projection of u going in the v direction. V is the direction, so then you can see that there's more v. So v is the direction here, and then we're using the magnitude of v here. Okay, this is equal to, our u is 6.2, v is 5, -5, over the magnitude of v, the whole thing squared, times the magnitude of v. All right, now this is just a bunch of calculation. All right, first 6.2 dot 5, -5. So this is just a dot product. We're going to get a number. 6 times 5 plus 2 times -5. Oops, sorry. Over square root of something squared means just take off the square root. So that's just 5 squared plus -5 squared. So that's 25 plus 25. And then the whole thing times 5, -5. Notice this left-hand side, this part is just all scalar. So you're going to end up with just a number and then multiply to a vector. All right, 6 times 5 is 30, plus 2 times -5 is -10. So 30 minus 10 is 20. Over 25 plus 25 is 50. 5, -5. All right, so 20 over 50 is 2/5. And then 5, -5. So then this is 2, -2. So it's saying it should be pointing towards 2, -2. Our graph is not that perfect, but you can pretty much see that it is pointing towards 2, -2 with that length if I had a better graph. All right, the next thing is now write u as a sum of two orthogonal vectors, one of which is the projection vector. So they want you to write u as the sum of two vectors, and the two vectors are orthogonal, meaning they are perpendicular to each other. So which two perpendicular vectors would add up to u? And one of which is projection vector. Well, this is pretty easy to see. It's going to be this one, the projection vector, plus this one. So remember, tail to head. So it's got to point that way, right? This way. This one plus this one is the u vector. Okay, we know the u vector. We know the projection vector. We don't know what this vector is. But that's not hard to find. What we need to do is just say that, well, u vector is the sum of the projection vector plus this unknown vector. So the u vector is Ch.6.2. The projection vector is 2, -2. We don't know what this vector is. To find that vector, we subtract the 2 minus 2 vector. So 6.2 minus 2, -2 is this unknown vector. So this vector is 4, 4. So this vector here is pointing towards 4, 4. All right, the last part, write the answer. So U is the sum of the two vectors, the projection vector, which is 2, -2, and then the other vector, 4, 4. All right, let's have you try one, come back and check your answer. So same thing as before, we're doing two parts. One is the projection vector, and the second is write U as the sum of two orthogonal vectors. The projection vector of U onto V it's kind of complicated number, 24/13, comma, -36/13. And then if we write U as the sum of two vectors, first one being the projection vector, the second one is kind of the difference between them, so that is 15/13, comma, -62/13. Okay, let's have you give that second one a try. Okay, for number 2, the projection vector of U onto V is 33/25, comma, -44/25. And then U as a sum of two vectors, that is the projection vector, 33/25, comma, -44/25, plus the vector 92/25 and 69/25.